Got a logic exam breathing down your neck? Don't even sweat it. Because in the next 5 minutes, we're going to blitz through the absolute essentials you need to know. Let's do this.
All right, first up, a question for you. I want you to think about the last time you were in an argument, one you really wanted to win. What does it actually take to make your point so solid it's just completely waterproof? Well, it turns out that's not just about being loud or clever, it's what the science of logic is all about.
Okay, so if we want to build one of those waterproof arguments, we got to start with the absolute basics. What is logic, really? Well, at its core, it's just the science of correct reasoning. So the smallest building block in all of logic is something called a proposition. It's just a simple statement that you can look at and say, yep, that's true, or nope, that's false. It's not a question like, is the sky blue, or a command like, go outside. It's a clean statement of fact, like the sky is blue, or the classic, all men are mortal. All right, so once you have these propositions, these little bricks, you can start stacking them to build an argument. Think of it exactly like building something. You take a few propositions, which we call premises, and use them as the foundation. And what are they holding up? Another proposition, which is your conclusion.
And here is the classic example you'll see everywhere. So premise 1, all men are mortal. That's our big general rule, right? Premise 2, Ram is a man. Okay, that's a specific fact. So the conclusion, therefore, Ram is mortal, just has to follow. It's locked in. And this structure, premises supporting a conclusion, that's the absolute bedrock of formal logic.
Okay, so we get it. Logic is the science of making good arguments. But wait, how is that different from something like physics or history? Aren't they also looking for truth? Let's break that down because it's a huge point. Okay, now this is a really important distinction, especially for an exam. Think about it. Sciences like physics or history, they describe the world. They tell us what is. They're all about observing facts. Logic, though, is what we call a normative science. It's not interested in how people actually argue, with all the yelling and emotions. No, it prescribes the rules for how we should argue if we want to be correct. It's like the official rule book for a game, not the messy play-by-play commentary. And to make that definition even sharper, let's talk about what logic is not. It's not psychology. It couldn't care less about your feelings or mental state when you're making a point. It's not ethics, so it's not about moral right or wrong. And it's not aesthetics, so it's not about what's beautiful. The main takeaway here is that logic strips all that other stuff away to focus on one single thing: validity. Does the conclusion absolutely have to follow from the premises? That's the only question it asks, period.
All right, now, inside the world of logic, there are basically two main highways you can take to get to a conclusion. And these are the two big ones you absolutely have to nail for your exam: inductive and deductive logic.
So here's the difference in a nutshell. Inductive logic is kind of like being a detective. It's what scientists do all the time. They see lots of specific clues or observations, and they try to build a general theory out of them. The conclusion can be super strong, but here's the catch: it's only ever probable. Deductive logic, on the other hand, is the total opposite. It starts with a big general rule that you already know is true, and it applies it to one specific case. And if those starting rules are true, the conclusion isn't just probable. It's a 100% rock-solid certainty. So let's look at what's called the inductive leap. You see one guy is mortal, then another, then another. You see 100,000 guys are mortal. You haven't seen a single immortal man walk by. So you make a leap of faith, a leap of reasoning, and conclude, okay, all men must be mortal. It's an amazing way to figure things out about the world, but it has one tiny little weakness. And yeah, this quote really nails it. Induction, even when it's super sophisticated, can only nudge you towards a conclusion. It can give you like a 99.999% probability, which is awesome, but it can never give you that full 100% certainty. Why? Because there's always that sliver of a chance that tomorrow you'll meet that one immortal dude who proves your whole theory wrong. And that brings us to the real superstar of Western logic: deduction. And this is where things get a little weird, but it's maybe the most important thing to get for your exam. In deductive logic, the structure, or form, of an argument is way more important than whether the statements are actually factually true. Let's check out this example about a lioness named Carrie. Let's just read through it. All women are bipeds. Okay, biologically that's true. Carrie the lioness is not a woman. Also true, she's a lioness. And the conclusion, therefore, Carrie is not a biped. Well, yeah, lionesses had 4 legs, so she's not a biped. That's true too. So here it is, the million-dollar question for your test. Every single sentence we just read is true in the real world. So, does that automatically make the argument logically valid? What do you think? Take a second. The answer is a big, fat no. And this is the part that can kind of break your brain at first. See, just because your conclusion happens to be true doesn't mean the argument that got you there is any good. For an argument to be valid, the conclusion has to be inescapable. It has to be forced by the premises. And here, it's just not. The premises tell us Korea isn't a woman. Fine. But that doesn't mean she can't be a biped for some other reason, right? I mean, birds are bipeds, but they're not women. The logic is leaky.
So this is the key. Deductive logic doesn't really care about the content. It cares about the form, the structure. Look at this abstract form here. This structure is valid no matter what crazy things you plug in for S, M, and P. You could be talking about Martians or sandwiches or whatever. If the argument fits this valid form, it's a valid argument. The content is totally irrelevant. But, and this is super interesting, this obsession with pure abstract form, it's not the only way to do logic. So, to wrap things up, let's look at a really cool comparison between this Western tradition and the Indian tradition of logic. This table really lays it all out. They're aiming for two completely different things. Western deductive logic looks at an argument like it's a finished product, a math equation, and it keeps validity totally separate from real-world truth. Indian logic, though, is all about inference as a process. It's about what's actually happening in your brain when you figure something out. For them, validity is completely tied to reality. The whole point is to figure out true stuff about the world. And you can see exactly how this works in this example. A Western logician would probably just go from there's smoke on the hill straight to there's fire on the hill because of the rule. But the Nyaya school of Indian logic slows down and actually adds that third step. Why? Because they're mapping out the thought process. It's showing you actively recalling the rule and applying it to what you see. It's literally about the journey your mind takes to get to the conclusion. And this quote just perfectly captures the spirit of the Indian approach. It's not about playing games with abstract symbols like S and P. It says, no, the words we use, smoke, fire, hill, they have to actually connect to real things out there in the world. It's a logic that's grounded in reality, by design. Okay, so let's bring it all home. For your exam, this is the cheat sheet. This is the slide to screenshot in your brain. If you forget everything else, just remember this. Deductive logic is all about validity, the form. Inductive logic is all about probability, the evidence. And Indian logic is all about inference, the real-world process of finding truth. And I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. So if the purest form of Western logic is totally detached from reality, just about the form, does that mean that the most perfect arguments are actually the ones that have nothing to say about the real world at all? Something to think about, right? All right, now go ace that exam.